Hey guys, I just want to do a quick intro to the video that I am going to be doing. And I just want to ask this question. How many people do you think you may have stopped being friends with just because someone told you something about them? How many people have broken off relationships, ended relationships because just because someone said something? You never learned the truth. You never knew, you never got to the bottom of it. Someone just told you something. How many people have you turned on just because someone told you something? How many people in churches have turned on a congregant or someone because their pastor said things, or a majority of the church people said something about this one person, and suddenly everybody just shunned the individuals? And sometimes you've been on the receiving end of it. People stopped talking to you, someone just broke off with you with no explanations. And guys, it's a sad thing as individuals where someone could just come and tell you something about someone, and you either just believe it and run with it, or you just accept it as truth because of who a person is. Always, always, no matter who it is, no matter what their reputation, never just believe things that someone tells you about another person, because often you'll end up losing out on relationships, friendships, new alliances. You will find yourself doing things out of self-righteousness that does not come from God, destroying people, leading people to anxiety and depression, especially things when these things are done in the church and a whole congregation or a majority of them turns against someone. You can cause people to go through things that you will never see with your eyes, but God sees. So as adults, we have to get to a place of, even when someone tells you about someone, that you're not quick to believe it, especially if you have not seen it and you don't know the other side of the story. All right, guys, let's get into the video. Have you ever wondered how someone was so easily influenced to turn against you? Have you ever wondered how someone could just tell a person something about you, they've never met you, and they just believed what was said, and that was it? They just went with it. Well, sometimes what it is, sometimes depending on who it is, the person has so much confidence in the person, perhaps the things that they've done in the past, who they are to them, that they don't discern. They don't think, let me get to know this person for myself, or let me remain neutral. They'll just follow the person because of the person's reputation, who they are, and based on things that they have done for them. So based on their experiences with them, they will say, oh well, if they said this person is a bad person, or this person is such and such a type, then it must be true, which we should never do, no matter who it is. The other thing that can happen, guys, and this is where I'm really going to focus on today, is that sometimes when a person that knows you, okay, a person that you've known and a person that knows you, a person that you may be familiar with or even related to, when another person can go up to them and tell them things about you, and then they change towards you and start to be indifferent, and when you really get down to it, you find out that it was something that someone told them that caused them to change their behavior towards you. A lot of times the reason why that person was able to change so much simply based on what the person said is because that individual already had something against you. So they were quick to believe it because they already had something in their heart against you. There's something they probably didn't like about you, something they were still holding against you, a certain way they were probably feeling, whether that's jealousy, whether that's just feeling like you think that you're all that, or something that has happened in the past that they still held on to it. And so when those feelings are still unresolved and they're still holding things against you, or even being your friend, but the entire time they are just not happy to see you accomplish, they're not happy to see you doing well, i.e. jealousy, i.e. malice, i.e. covetousness, which the Bible talks about. And that just means when somebody wants what you have. And so because they can't have it, or because they are not able to attain it, they'll just live vicariously through you, secretly hating you. Sometimes, guys, that's one of the reasons why it's easy for them to believe and to follow a negative report about you, because they want to believe that. Sometimes that makes them feel good about themselves. Sometimes they will attach themselves to a person who's speaking ill of you because that's to them a breath of fresh air. As ironic as that is, this toxicity, negativity, someone saying something bad, being able to find someone that thinks a different way about you validates them, makes them feel better, and they form an alliance because they already had something against you. There are things they may not have ever forgiven you for, and they're still hanging around you. There are things that they could be plotting and planning something against you. But nevertheless, the reason why whole grown adults will just believe something that someone tells you and they know you, instead of coming to you and saying, hey, this was told to me, what happened? They will sit there and believe it. And a lot of times it's because they already had something against you. And then when you talk to them and you ask them, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you come to me? They'll have a reason why. But the reason that they'll never tell you is because they wanted to believe that. The reason they'll never tell you is because they already had something against you and they wanted to believe that. The reason that they never tell you is that they've always been envious of you. And so hearing something negative about you is very satisfying to them. Those are the things that they won't tell you. And so it's kind of weird because growing up, you felt when you were in elementary school and junior high and then high school and college, or even up to high school, you felt like the pettiness would end there. But it is so disheartening when you go through your life and you realize adults are still doing the same thing. Not all of them, but many. Adults can still go and tell another adult something and they will just believe it and they will just go with it and they won't talk to you. So sometimes you believe that once I get out of high school, it's going to be different. And once we get out of this, no, but there's so many adults that are still being petty. There are adults who are still being bullies. You see that online. And I believe a lot of people do the things that they do. They put up a fake name, fake alias, fake account, and they say things because they don't think that you can find them. People will disrespect you because they don't think that you can realize and locate where they're at if you really wanted to. A lot of times people do that and they'll behave this way. So you find if someone has a comment and they don't agree with it, you find adults cursing out another adult, calling them stupid, using profanity. How debased is our society these days? Okay, to the point that people don't even feel like they can give opinions. And you see how adults are behaving more and more when you watch the news. Who do you see on there? It's not really teenagers. You see a lot of adults doing crazy things, causing problems. You see that in churches. You see that in the workplace. Just gossip, and someone said something, so I'm not going to talk, and grown adults still snickering and whispering about another person. So it's very childish. And the same thing with slander. Someone says something and people just believe it. And a lot of times why people can bring their garbage to someone, you see, is because when you have garbage in your hand, you know exactly where you can take it. You're going to go to that trash can. You're going to go to that thing that has a big old black or pink or whatever color trash bag you have. You know this is a dumpster. So a lot of times based on the character and the individuals, they'll approach them and they know, okay, I can go and tell this person because they're messy. It's something that has to do with the character and at the core of that individual, that they welcome mess. They welcome the gossip and the backbiting and the slander. And a lot of times it feeds into things that they already felt about you. Co-workers can go along with that because they're just trying to get along, go along to get along. Others, they don't like you. They never liked you. So if they discover another adult that want to talk about you, they're going to do that. And it's very childish and it's very sad. But continue to be the difference. Continue to set yourself aside. Because, gossips are only going to go to those who are messy. People are only going to tell you, go to the person that they believe that they can throw all that compost in and create compost with. And so they may let's say they may approach you, but if they go to a person and the person may say, well, how do you know for sure? And the person kind of gives them a different objective. They are never going to go to that person again with a gossip. So unfortunately, what you're going to realize is most people that they just believe something about you, and especially if it's someone that you've known and you just notice that, excuse me, they are quick to have believed something about you. You have to examine that. A lot of times it's that person. They're not going to tell you. They're going to give you excuses. They're going to get irritable with you for even questioning them. But what you have to know within you is that a person that's just quickly going to grab the baton of a liar, gossip, and change their behavior towards you, shut down, shut off because someone told them something, It has nothing to do so much with that person, but already what they were feeling inside themselves towards you. And that just validated it. That just caused them to it just stirred that up a bit. And whether or not that person told them that or not, they always would have had something against you. They just had a reason. And to say, well, I didn't know this person said this. Okay. Another thing I always say is whenever you always must question any person, and I'm not meaning going up to them and question them per se. You may ask them, but you must always ponder on this in your mind. A friend or family member that seems to embrace people that hurt you. A person that's hurt you, lied, disparaged you, and you have this friend that tends to always form an alliance with these type of people. You have family members that will form alliance with individuals that's hurt you, betrayed you, stabbed you in the back, did you wrong. They tend to want to befriend them. Why does this happen? A lot of times there's a commonality. There's something that that person has where they embrace others who would be destructive to you, hurtful to you, and they do it because of something they have in their heart against you. You think about this, you may have an ex. You may not still have full access to that ex again. They're not sitting there trying to figure out how you're doing. Their families, they're not doing that because you're no longer with their son or their daughter. So why would your family be doing that? Now, granted, as humans, we're not going to hate people. You're not going to hate someone and mistreat them and to be disrespectful. But I am just a person. If someone has done something wrong to my sibling or to my son or my daughter, there's no way that I could, as a parent, continue to keep this door open. Someone has really hurt my friend. There's no way I can comfortably still be friends with a person who has done wrong to my friend. Now, sometimes it'll be a bunch of y'all grew up together and there's this stuff going on. And even then you can balance that where if you all were childhood friends and two of you have a problem, this may be different. But the bottom line is normally that friend is going to just be where they're still going to be able to tell their friend that did the wrong thing. No, that was wrong what you did. You know what I mean? And hopefully that friend can learn from that. But you will find parents, when you're talking about parents, when you're talking about your siblings, when you're talking about close friends who develop a relationship with someone that you introduced them to, because they didn't even know this person from before. They got to know this person because you started dating them, and they begin to, or you married them, or whatever the case may be, and they tend to keep those relationships going with people who have hurt you. It is not a natural thing. And a lot of times, guys, with very few exceptions, the reason why they'll befriend the person that hurt you, the reason why they'll befriend and keep in contact with the person who betrayed you, the person who abused you, the person who rejected and played mind games with you, the reason why they can hold on to that is because sometimes those individuals, that friend, that sibling, that parent, has something in their heart against you. And so they don't have that loyalty for you to say, okay, I don't hate this person, but you have hurt my child. I can't keep this door open. It is because of something they already have within themselves against you. They can now form an alliance with a person who did the hurting, who did the betraying, who did the rejecting. Because sometimes they're happy that happened to you. Because there was something they were already upset about you with. And then they want to be able to now be friends with this person to kind of use it as a source of hurt and pain, or now to hear maybe some dirt about you, to be able to talk about you, to now they're going to be the comfort in the alliance with this person, to make that person feel like, instead of the person being able to think about what they've done and really just come to terms with themselves and what they have done and perhaps change, if not for you, but for someone else in the future, because that parent, person, sibling, good friend sits there with them as an alliance, they will now feel more fortified and feel confident in the decision that they made, because they'll talk about you to them. They're not going to correct them, or they want to be important. You may have a friend, you break up with this man or this woman, and all of a sudden your friend who may be crushing on them or had a crush on them or whatever, now they're their counselor. Now they're their voice of reason. And it's only for them to feel better about themselves. To know within themselves, it's like a one-up for them. Even though he hurt you, she hurt you, I'm not going to move in emotionally with this person. And it's going to make them feel good to know that the person that hurts you is now turning to them and needing them and is being a voice and is hearing them. And somehow they're going to get some sort of gratification out of that. Somehow they're going to get some sort of, it feels good to them to kind of be stabbing you in the back or to be hearing things about you that normally they would have not heard otherwise. The Bible says the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who shall know it? And sometimes you don't even know the heart of your friend. Sometimes you don't even know the heart of your parent, your siblings, your loved ones. Sometimes you don't know the heart of that bestie that you thought you knew. And so whenever a person is quick to just believe what's said about you, realize that you're discovering something here. It may be painful, but what you're realizing is the reason why they could just believe it and run with it is because they already have or had something in their heart against you. Their heart was already turned. So it didn't take much for somebody else to come and kind of top off what was already within them. Learn to believe what you see and not what you're told. Learn to believe follow their actions and believe what they do than what they say. That's going to save you a lot of heartbreak, pain, destruction, and even fatality in the end. All right, guys.